Okay. Hello, before I get the video started, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you want me to react to some more videos, then leave a leave a link to the video in the comment of this video, and I will react to it whenever I get a chance. Welcome back, and today we're here with another reaction video with something my friend Duckmaster sent me, and it's called Lisa the Painful Awful Done Right. Now, I've never seen this video before, but I want to let you know I have no rights to this video. The creator is Uric Saladbar. Go subscribe to him and go check out his channel if you want to see the full video for yourself, but I'll be reacting to it. So let's get it.
It all started with a white flash. We don't know what caused it or why it happened. It just did. And because of this flash, every woman has either disappeared or died. And due to the lack of people who have the ability to give birth, society...
Oh my gosh. This was not just any white flash. This wasn't just any white flash. I'm telling you, someone Thanos snapped them out of existence, except this time people actually died. And it was just women. Gosh, this Thanos is kind of sexist, don't you think? And we're taking the women and we're gonna make here. It's 2020, okay. Okay.
Society falls into anarchy, causing the lawless men of the world to begin to show their true colors. From the violent, to the weird, to the perverse. And in this hopeless world, you play as Brad Armstrong, a drug addict full of regret as he was unable to save his younger sister from taking her own life due to their abusive father. Seemingly through happenstance, he stumbles upon a baby, and it's not some ordinary child, it's a girl. Seeing this child as a second chance at redemption, Brad immediately takes this child into his care. Now named Buddy, Brad and his childhood friends do everything in their power to raise and protect her from this awful world. As time passes and Buddy's existence becomes known to the world, Brad returns home to a bloody mess and a missing child. With Buddy now gone and the world desperate to repopulate humanity, Brad now must venture out into the world of Olathe to rescue his adopted daughter, no matter the cost. Practically devoid of humor to strengthen this theme.
Okay. This is really interesting. I've always been kind of intrigued with these like post-apocalyptic games that they seem like they mean a lot more to people just because it's like, just like, I don't think it's really gonna happen that well, but like, what if this did happen? It's just like, it's just something to think about, I guess. It's pretty cool to think about it. Just what if the apocalypse came? Oh, please don't. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The game uses its dark sense of humor to further strengthen these themes. Despite the futility of the world, Lisa decides to populate its cast with a colorful roster of characters. You got a guy who hates his dead wife who tells verbose stories, a legendary powerful man who just wants to provide you hints, and who could forget Uncle Sticky, who just wants to help Buddy grow up just a bit faster. There's a very tongue-in-cheek atmosphere in the game, from the battles, character designs, and the events that happen throughout your journey. And while the humor is there, it's placed appropriately, and it's often used as a counterbalance to how screwed up the world is. It's a harsh reality, and the mechanics reflect that. Walking off cliffs causes a game over. Health items, currency, and resting areas are relatively scarce without a guide, and permadeath is present during certain fights. Things aren't so black and white in this game, and sacrifices have to be made. So this is all well and good, but how bad of a character is Brad? Well, let's dig a little...
What? A game that shows you what the real world can be like? What? No way. They didn't actually. No, they couldn't have. No, no one cares about that much. Oh wait, they did. It's this game. I'm falling in love with this game already. It's making me cry, man. I love this game.
A little deeper and find out who Brad actually is. But before I continue, if any of this sounds interesting to you and you haven't played the game, because I'm about to go into spoiler territory, and this is a game worth going into as blind as possible. Look, I'll even give you a couple of seconds. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Brad, alongside his sister, Lisa, suffered from a great deal of abuse at a young age due to their father, Marty Armstrong. At some point after his wife's death, he becomes an uncaring alcoholic. He neglects his kids, and the only interactions he has with them are abusive, be it physical or sexual. And in the first game of the series, Lisa is the protagonist, and we get to experience the mental trauma she suffers. The severity of Marty's abuse has reached a point where she can't look at anything without being reminded of her abuser. When even self-mutilation isn't enough to stop the abuse, Lisa decides that the only way out of this nightmare is by ending her own life. Brad feels responsible for this tragedy due to his inability to stop his sister's death, and he copes with his demons through alcohol, painkillers, and most recently, a drug called joy. This helps him stop the hallucinations of Marty and Lisa haunting him, though there are some unfortunate side effects. With Buddy now in the picture though, Brad uses her as a vessel to atone for his guilt by being protective of her, hoping that whatever happened to Lisa would never happen to Buddy. So Brad is just trying to be a better father than Marty. This is pretty likable. But when does his immorality start to kick in? You actually see a brief glimpse of it in the game's opening, where Brad's attempts in caring for Buddy results in him being overprotective, essentially suffocating her from experiencing anything beyond the walls of their home. Never leave this home, never reveal your face, it's kill or be killed, don't call me dad. It's understandable as to why he raises her like this, but this evidently causes a bit of trouble between the two's relationship. While not as extreme, this behavior unfortunately mirrors Marty's actions, and both Buddy and Brad still get along, but the seeds of Brad's imperfections have been planted, and as the game progresses, he becomes a worse person. He's doing the best he can with what little information he has, but things start falling apart rather quickly. Withdrawals start to kick in harder than ever. He becomes more violent, more irrational. He kills his childhood best friends that helped raise Buddy, a girl, mind you, that doesn't want to be shackled to Brad anymore. Then the greatest side effect of joy starts to kick in, turning into a joy mutant, a creature that you know full well is capable of great harm. It's a monster that acts solely on instinct and their deepest desires, be it violent, sexual, or something else. And when he's force-fed joy pills, Brad is now destined for self-destruction. And guess what is Brad's deepest desire? What have we been trying to do this entire game?
So Brad is legit just... he's just another guy who doesn't want to be like his father, who was abusive and overprotective and just an overripe butt nugget. But during his relapses and his flashbacks from his past, he ends up becoming more and more like his father. And in the end, the girl who he was supposed to protect wants nothing to do with him. Sucks to suck, Bradley. Sucks to suck. Gosh, why do people suck?
Is justified in his eyes. For everyone else, he is a violent maniac on a rampage denying humanity's ability to bounce back from the apocalypse. You are playing a character that is selfishly trying to rid of his guilt by neglecting humanity's only chance of repopulating the world. This awful, untrustworthy world full of psychos and perverts where you can only assume the worst. And I think this is what makes Brad interesting when compared. He's just some dude who's about as screwed up as everyone else in Olathe, and the story understands this. He's ill-equipped, but he's trying. Brad managed to be a compelling character whose unfortunate circumstances made me feel something beyond pity, beyond a single emotion. And when you start playing as Buddy, who's now lashing out her hate for Brad through senseless killing, you get to play a character who's a result of Brad's awful parenting. And while she could have been written a lot better, when she finally confronts inner demons and realizes that Brad genuinely cared for her, it's a scene that succeeds at being heartbreaking. Through all his faults, as awful as he was, Buddy recognizes that Brad was trying his best. So while Brad is written to be an awful person, Lisa manages to contextualize his behavior in a way that made me care about him. And no one-note attitude, no matter how special, can be as compelling as someone who's well written.
That was Lisa, the painful, awful done right. This video is gonna suck to edit.